My next guest takes on Jordan Mein at UFC on Fox 30 on July 28th in Calgary. It is Alex Morono joining me here on the program for the very first time. Alex, how are you?
Man, good, good. I had to cancel a lot of my lessons today to take the day off, man. Training camp's been awesome, but it's been tough.
That's good, man. It's always good to have that rest day. And I don't know if you're aware, I'm Canadian, and you're going to be obviously fighting in Canada. I don't know if you know this is Canada Day today here.
Oh, hey, cool. That's awesome. I had no clue. What's Canada Day?
It's basically, just think of it as like, you guys have your 4th of July. We have ours July 1st. So it's like you get the day off and, you get to celebrate everything Canadian, and everyone wears like red and white and stuff. So there you go. Giving you a little history lesson here. So there you go.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I've been to Canada a few times. I have some family in upstate New York. So when I was younger, we went there all the time, did like fishing and some cool stuff. I always had a good time. It's a really beautiful place.
Well, let's talk about your last fight, man. What a win that was. A submission victory over a really savvy veteran in Josh Burkman at UFC Fight Night 126. Could that fight have gone any better in your opinion?
No. We had planned a few things like around like his movement and how he like enters into combos, and we had planned on like kind of getting him to bait to come forward and then colliding in when he committed, and it worked the first try. And then yeah, that was awesome. That was a really good performance.
Now you mentioned you've been to Canada before. Had you ever been to Calgary before? Is this your first time going?
No. I went to Niagara Falls and like places just north of there. It was a place called Wolf Island. I don't think it's a very popular, like well-known spot, but that's really the only place I'd ever been. But no, never to like the western side. And I'm really excited. I've heard nothing but great things. Everyone who's been there has said like super beautiful and go on hikes, and I'm really excited to go. We're staying for a couple days after as well.
Oh, nice. Okay, that's good. Just to give you a little background, like Calgary is kind of like, or Alberta in general, it's kind of like Texas in the sense that it's very the money comes in from oil. There's a lot of oil stuff going on up there, and they're all into the cowboy stuff and everything. They have the Stampede and everything in the summer, so it's going to be interesting. It'll be, I'm sure, for a guy like yourself, it'll be kind of a neat experience to go compete there.
Yeah, I'm really excited. It's a cool fight card. I was really browsing all the fights in July, and the Canada card wasn't posted, and I was hoping to get on the ones in Vegas, and there was also a card in Germany. And then when Sean Shelby had offered Canada, I was like, oh, I didn't even know there was a fight in Canada, and took it pretty quick. And really, the fight card's awesome too.
That's what I was gonna say. It's stacked. I mean, for a Fox card, I mean, this is a really great lineup. You got Alvarez and Poirier in the main event, and you got Joanna on the card, and you've got Aldo and Stevens. Like it really is. I think it's gonna get a little eyeballs. This entire card is just gonna be great for the fans and for everyone else.
Yeah, I agree. I was actually curious why it was so stacked. I was on Reddit, and one of the users had asked why the fight card was so awesome, because there were some like pay-per-view caliber fights there, and somebody said it was Dana White's birthday. And I checked it, and it is his birthday that day, so I hope he's there. And this is a fight to like swing for the fences and throw some crazy stuff. So that's my plan.
Well, actually, I think part of it, too, is, the UFC had a really, when they went to Calgary the first time, this was years ago, the whole card fell apart. I don't know if you remember this. It ended up being Renan Barão and Faber for an interim title, but initially, I think it was Jose Aldo and Eric Koch were supposed to fight for the featherweight title. Like, it was, and they had, like, I think a lot of other fighters on this card, and a bunch of fights just fell out. It ended up being just not a great card on paper. If you remember that Faber fight, it wasn't really that exciting. So I think part of it, aside from Dana's birthday, would be the fact they wanted to owe it to the fans, because it was just, it didn't turn out to be a very good card.
Oh, man, I had no clue. Okay, that's cool.
We're talking about, let's talk about you, though, man. You're taking on Jordan Mein. Jordan Mein is, obviously a hometown guy. Do you like that? Do you like going into enemy territory and spoiling the party?
Yeah, so I've done that before, and then I also fought one time in Houston, and as much as I loved fighting in Houston, I prefer, like, the zero pressure fights. And I actually coped very well. I always do very well under pressure, and, like, I felt awesome in Houston. Got kind of hit with a weird, like, unlucky shot after doing very well. But no, I actually really enjoy like traveling, the planet, and fighting the best guys in their home countries. That's a really cool aspect of the sport, and I love the challenge, and I really do enjoy the traveling. So now I'm really excited for this fight.
And let's talk about your opponent, Jordan Mein. I mean, this has Fight of the Night written all over it. Jordan's never in a boring fight. How do you feel like you match up against him here?
Man, really good. I know he's a good kickboxer, and I haven't had a lot of guys try to take me down. Which has been cool, but I know he's going to sit there and we'll go like some pretty deep combo exchanges, and that'll be a really fun fight. It kind of allows me to mix things up a little more than normally, but he's a super savvy kickboxer, been fighting forever. He also fought Josh Burkman in Canada for the main event for a fight outside of the UFC years and years ago.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just cool how much history is behind. This is my opponent, and fighting in Canada is cool. There's a lot of really cool aspects about this fight.
And just talk a little bit about your training camp, some of the guys you've been working with and the coaches and everything like that. Who's helping you prep for this fight?
Yeah, so I got wind of this fight maybe 12, 13, 14 weeks before the actual date. So I started fight camp a little too early, and it's been good. I've been training for like 6 or 7 weeks already, pretty hard now. I still have 4 left, but I always travel all around Houston. I go to several different gyms, and I just try to find like the best guys around town. And like, and if you have like the relationships between the gyms and you know the city pretty well, you can find the hard training. And in this camp, I really have like a hardened group of coaches. I got a full-time strength and conditioning coach. I have like a new jiu-jitsu coach who's actually, he was one of my students at my gym, but he just like took like the intellect and like the lifestyle of jiu-jitsu and ran with it. He's one of the smartest guys I know, and he's a high-level brown belt who competes all around and does very well. And he actually brings like new techniques and new drills to me all the time. Then I have my same striking coach I've been hitting pads with for years, and my MMA coach. So we've all been working together really hard. And whenever we're not like fine-tuning things, I'm usually traveling to other gyms and like training with the best guys around town. It's been the best fight camp. I've had like 30 fights. I've never had a bad fight camp, and this one is on par with the other ones, if not better.
And I got to give a quick shout out to one of your teammates. I know he's a little, a few weight classes lower, but Jake Heffernan, the grinder, man, he's just recently improved his record to 7-0. He's a featherweight, but how good is this kid, and how soon do you think we'll see him in the UFC?
Man, Jake is awesome. He's been like my second in command at the gym. Like we run all the kids' classes together. When I'm, out doing UFC stuff for the week, he's covering everything at the gym. He's been my #1 training partner for, I don't know, like 6 or 7 years now, a very long time. Yeah, he's awesome. We have like a theory on like you need to have 10, not only 10 fights, but like 10 wins before you go to the UFC, just so you have like a bit of a buffer. And it's not like it's a choice. If he gets the chance to go in, he's going to go in as soon as he can. But I still think him fighting like regionally on these like televised legacy cards and these main event fights for like other promotions, that's just gonna increase his skill set and build up his record and give him that experience. So I'd say within like the next 2 years, maybe after maybe like 2 or 3 more wins, that'd probably be a really like smart and safe time to do that.
We're less than a month away from the fight. Does the weight cut process start for you already, or does that happen closer to fight time?
No, I'm not a huge welterweight. I was about 183 pounds yesterday.
Okay.
So I only have 12 pounds to cut, and I still have another month of training. I don't think I'll make a big weight cut at all for this fight, but I prefer that. I've never really had a hard weight cut, and I've always felt great. Never even come close to busting weight. So if it's not broken, I'm not going to fix it. And I want to start doing the intermittent fasting, but I have to wait until after this fight camp to try it because I don't want to try something new. And
that could mess up your routine. Exactly. Yeah.
Exactly. So, but man, I've been doing like a lot of vegetable and fruit juices this fight camp and feel amazing. Like my joints don't hurt at all. And as I get older, I've been eating like a lot cleaner, very consistently, and I feel some serious benefits from that.
Who's going to be in your corner for this fight?
I will have my jiu-jitsu coach, Joe Heinen, and then my striking coach, Matt Wald. And then we're still waiting on the third man. My MMA coach, he's having labrum surgery on his hip. And that's happening in, I think, a week. So I'm not too sure if he can make the flight. So I'm gonna kind of play that one by ear. But I got my grappling coach and my striking coach.
That's excellent. And how do you see this fight playing out on July 28th?
I always plan for like a 3rd round finish or a decision, just so if the fight does go past the 1st round, I'm not like discouraged or like out of a game plan. So I'm looking for a 3rd round TKO. Or submission, but something late in the fight, get some good experience in, really try to do some damage and get that fight time. I will break 1 hour of fighting in the octagon after this fight, as long as it goes past 2 minutes. And that's a pretty cool milestone. I would like to double and triple that time, by the time I retire.
Where do you feel like a win over Jordan Mein puts you in the division? Because, you just took out a veteran. You'd kind of be taking out, I guess you'd call Mein a veteran, even though he's not that old. But where do you feel like it puts you?
I think it puts me in a good position to really like ask for my next fight. One thing, Zak Ottow is fighting Sage Northcutt soon. It was funny. He had messaged me on Twitter asking to fight, but I don't ever check that. And like a couple weeks had gone by, and I finally like went back and looked it over, and then I saw he wanted to fight. I was like, damn it, I love that fight. So I had hit up my manager, but Zach was already matched up, and then I was actually offered the Mein fight like the next day. So that's a fight I would really like to take afterwards. But man, there's a million fights in the division that I would take. I really couldn't think of anyone I wouldn't fight. So I mean, we'll really see what Sean Shelby says next. But if it's up to me and I come out of this fight, without being too banged up, I wouldn't mind getting another fight in pretty soon.
What do you like doing on your downtime? I know you got a busy life, outside the cage as well. But are you watching any Netflix or playing any video games, anything like that? What would I find you doing now when you're trying to just, take your mind off fighting?
Ooh, I don't know. I run a gym with my fiance, so we do that, and I watch all the fights with my MMA crew on the weekends. I do some gaming, but mostly just listen to metal and train pretty much
Nice.
all
You should
day.
put that on a T-shirt somewhere. Listen to metal and train. That's it.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. I actually have a pretty cool fight shirt getting made for this Canada fight card. I'll make sure to send you one. It's pretty cool. It's just got like UFC on Fox 30 on it and like a wolf on the back. It's pretty cool. I always make shirts for my fights. Like I got one right now. This one I made for Austin.
Cool.
And there's like a longhorn on the back. So I've been making fight shirts forever. So I'll also make sure to send you one.
Well, just remind people where they can find you on social media and where they can get any of your T-shirts when they're available, man. The floor is yours. Again, this is going to be an awesome fight coming up here on July 28th.
Cool, thanks. Yeah, everything's just really like Alex Morono MMA, my website, and then Facebook and Instagram and even Twitter. So it's usually pretty easy.